Welcome to Thessaloniki, Greece, capital of the geographic region of Macedonia. It's the second largest city in the country, with over 1 million people, and it's over 2,000 years old. This is my 12th time here. Yeah, I've counted. And in this video, I'll just give you a very brief rundown of, I guess the must-sees, and maybe a bit of bonus material. Home sweet home for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm living in the Chinese district. Chinese right there. Okay, so my neighborhood is a bit of a shithole, but it has authentic Chinese food and bubble tea, and it's a 10-minute walk away from an entertainment hub here. You get it. Cobblestone streets, bars, restaurants, live music. La da dica. It's mussels and rice. Almost like media doma. You know, the stuffed mussels of Turkey. Back in shit neighborhood. Look, I'm living 2 blocks from Virginia Hotel. See? Bubble tea. Want to check out a church? So this Holy Church of St. Minas is considered one of the oldest churches in Thessaloniki. It dates back to the 400s AD. And during the Turkish occupation, it wasn't converted into a mosque. The theory is that it was on the outskirts of town, and the Turks were afraid of Greek thugs. Now, once we're inside, pay attention. Behind the holy altar, there is a stone high priestly pulpit. And according to tradition, the Apostle Paul stood on this stone and spoke to the Thessalonians. The attendant just told me to come back at 7 o'clock and they will open up the stone for viewing. So we'll do that. We're heading to the old port here in Thessaloniki because one of my favorite Yugoslav sculptors, Nandor Glid, has a monument erected here. Now, you know who Nandor Glid is because you've watched my highly acclaimed Spomenik series. I'll put a link to it in the description section. But he was a Holocaust survivor, and his father and most of his family were killed in Auschwitz. And he spent most of his life after the war memorializing Holocaust victims, mostly throughout Yugoslavia, but he's known internationally for his work at Dachau concentration camp. So this monument, or spomenik, if we're going to speak Serbo-Croatian, it's called Menorah in Flames. And yeah, you recognize it because this exact sculpture also was built in the Dunav K area in Belgrade, the Danube waterfront in Serbia. The English inscription here reads, "Dedicated by the Greek people to the memory of the 50,000 Jewish Greeks of Thessaloniki, deported from their mother city by the Nazi occupation forces in the spring of 1943, and exterminated in the gas chambers of the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camps." Let's see what a grocery store looks like in Greece. This grocery store has been around since 1924. Picked up an €8 block of feta cheese. And $2 worth of olives. The cheese and the olives, that'll be part of breakfast for the next 2 weeks. They'll last. It's 102 degrees out, by the way. Fahrenheit, 39 degrees Celsius. Back in Vardaris, the neighborhood I live in, and look, old walls and a tower. Old building with a new extension on the top for Jehovah's Witnesses. An Ottoman bathhouse from late 1400s, early 1500s. This is the main square of Thessaloniki, Aristotle Square, dedicated obviously to the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle. The square was designed in 1918 by a French guy, but most of the buildings weren't completed until the 50s. And as you can see, the square on the south end spills into the sea. Approaching the Church of Hagia Sophia, Holy Wisdom. And this one dates from the 600s AD. Again, one of the oldest churches still standing in the city, and it is UNESCO listed. This structure was erected based on Hagia Sophia in Constantinople, now Istanbul. After the capture of Thessaloniki by Ottoman Sultan Murad II, March 29, 1430, this church was converted into a mosque, Hagia Sophia Jami, and it remained a mosque for some 500 years. It wasn't until the liberation of Thessaloniki in 1912 that this building was reconverted to a church. Throughout Greece, as the summer sun sets, the cities come to life. Looks like the Greek version of kufte in Turkey. And we have a Byzantine beetroot salad. Every restaurant I've been to gives you free dessert at the end. It's 2 o'clock, heading back home. See you tomorrow. Skipped a whole day, went straight to dinner. And dinners aren't easy when you're only one person in Greece. You want to order all the appetizers, all the meze. I can't do that, I'm only one person. What? What do you want? Just say it, and it's yours. It's almost midnight, walking around Thessaloniki's old port, and look, a Dali exhibit. What European city would you be if you didn't have a Dali exhibit? I don't think I told you, but I've been on a quest to find the cheapest beer in the city. They've been running between 6 and 9 euros a beer. But this one, Alpha, at this bar, Giza, cheapest so far, 3.5 euros. Well, the sun's gone down. It is safe to venture outside again. Yeah, it's just too hot to go out in the daytime if it's not into water. Heading back to Halkidiki, a restaurant called Charoupi, to have dinner with one of my favorite Portes students. It's backgammon for you English speakers, tavla for the Turks. My old college housemate, Yorgos. He's a really good student. What did you do? What did you do? You ruined.
No, I'm sorry.
You're afraid of what's coming next.
Yes.
This is the white of the egg, salty, the small pieces, okay? And scramble on the plate, make one cream, and we have the results and the taste and the option. That's this we want. Okay.
Can you also buy your name, please?
Τώρα στα γερμανικά και την κυρία.
This is with cheese. This is sausage with cheese. Cheese.
I'm only meeting with Yorgos because the more people you meet with in Greece, the more variety of taste you have at the table.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
He knows, and that's why you hang out with him, I guess.
Yes.
For dinner.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like this. We'll serve like this.
And as far as the most number of drinks at the table,
Yeah. Ed wins the game.
I win.
Yeah.
Again. And Yorgos is on coke.
Yes.
Okay, this is a great picture of Yorgos and me. Look, one of us is very handsome. That dessert I'm holding is called God Lick the Booty Call. Right?
I like the water.
Έλα, κόψε με εκείνο. Με το... Εσύ και λίγο το παλατίτσι.
Yorgos has been asking me all night, I want to be famous, I want to be on YouTube, I want to be famous, I want to be on YouTube.
I need to views.
What is this called?
Raki. That's Raki.
Not raki, but raki.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the Turkish drink.
No.
Okay, enough laziness. Can't stay indoors daytime forever. I'm going to show you some sights today. It's 100 degrees. It's 4 o'clock. You ever see a mosque built by Jews before? A Jewish mosque? Get ready for it. So, the crypto-Jew mosque was named Yeni Cami, which means new mosque in Turkish, and it was the last mosque to be built in Thessaloniki under the Ottoman Empire. The history leading up to this mosque goes back to the 1600s when a Jewish rabbi named Zevi proclaimed himself the Messiah, and he rapidly acquired a large following, which made Sultan Mehmed IV a little nervous. He had Zevi arrested and said, "You're going to be executed or you'll convert to Islam." So Zevi converted to Islam, as did all of his followers. But secretly, they remained Jewish. This went on for hundreds of years. For hundreds of years, these crypto-Jews, secret Jews, were not welcome in synagogues because the Jews who didn't convert thought them as traitors, and they weren't welcome in mosques because the Muslims didn't trust their sincerity. In the early 1900s, they decided to build their own house of worship, Yeni Cami. And as you see, it is locked. Now, Thessaloniki was the only Jewish majority European city in history. And that didn't count the crypto Jews. The reason there were so many Jews here, up until the 1900s, was that the Ottoman Empire invited exiled Jews to settle here in the city to keep a check on the Greek population. The percentage of Jews here reached as high as 65%. I ordered sucuk kakia. It's like beef meatballs. That's a UNESCO listed church we're passing by now. Here's another UNESCO listed church. I think there's 15 UNESCO sites in Thessaloniki and 14 of them are churches. This one is the Rotunda. It was built from the late 200s AD by the Romans as a polytheist temple, or intended as a mausoleum for Emperor Galerius. Regardless, Emperor Theodosius I converted it to a church in the late 300s AD. Some Greeks say that this is the oldest church in the world. And many others say that's bullshit. This was used as a church for around 1,200 years before the city fell to the Ottomans, after which, in 1590, it was converted to a mosque. You can see the remains of the minaret there. And then in 1912, after the liberation of Thessaloniki, back to a church. This dome used to be an oculus, like the Pantheon in Rome. The rotunda was decorated by mosaics between 4th and the 6th centuries AD. You know what this church is really good for in the heat? Yeah, it's much cooler in here. All right, now we're going to look at the Arch of Galerius, right nearby. This triumphal arch of Roman Emperor Galerius was built between 298 and 305 AD, and it commemorated the emperor's victorious campaign against the Persians. The reliefs here depict the victories of Galerius against the Persians in 297 AD. There used to be 2 parallel rows of 4 pillars each. Today, only 3 pillars of the western row are preserved. There's another UNESCO-listed church, about a minute and a half up the road. Can't stop now, I'm on a roll. This locked church dates to the 1200s, and in the 1500s it was converted into a mosque. And you can see here the remains of what used to be a minaret back in its mosque days. Now we're going to drive up to Anapoli. It's the old town of Thessaloniki, the old walled town, the upper town of Thessaloniki, for another UNESCO-listed church, a monastery, the oldest surviving, the only surviving Byzantine monastery in Thessaloniki. The main reason to come to Vlatodon Monastery is for this, the view. This monastery was founded in 1350. Tradition has it that this monastery was built on the place where the apostle St. Paul preached to the Thessalonians. I never fact-checked this, but I was told in Serbia that that board came about where monks bang on it in lieu of church bells, because church bells were banned during the Ottoman times, and so the monks came up with this, let's bang on a board. Look at this. Right outside the monastery, you have the Byzantine walls that surround Thessaloniki. UNESCO listed as well. Let's go somewhere nice and watch the sunset. It goes down in about a half an hour. The bartender assures me it's okay to drink and drive in Greece, so getting another one. Look, it's 11 p.m., it's after 11 p.m., and it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I'm dealing with here. Heading home. Kalispera. It is after 8 p.m. Good time to take a walk. So hot.
Like, this is crazy. I will not do it. So it's like, that's why also like, I have a solidified job because we tried hiring engineers.
From Greece. I had black beer and it came from, what do you call these things? Barrel. Yeah. It's not a barrel. A barrel is wood. Tank.
A tank, yes.
Even that tank.
Yeah.
That tank. My black beer.
Red beer tank.
Black beer tank.
Joint.
30 years plus.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Good morning. Look, proof I have a sea view. A ferry just docked at the port. Well, it's 8 p.m. I got 53 minutes before the sun goes down. Walking along Thessaloniki's old waterfront to the symbol of the city, the White Tower. Ataturk was the founder of modern-day Turkey, and his favorite city in Turkey was Izmir. And that's because Izmir reminded him very much of his hometown here, Thessaloniki. If you've been to Izmir, you'd recognize the similarities. A long promenade along the sea, populated hillsides. You can visit his birth house here in Thessaloniki, and I did that in the previous video, so I'm not going to do it again. But a link to that video is in the descriptions. The White Tower, also known as the Tower of Blood, was built by the Ottomans sometime after the capture of Thessaloniki in 1430 by Sultan Murad II. There's some debate as to exactly when it was built, because there was an inscription in Ottoman Turkish on the tower until 1912 that attributed the construction to Suleiman the Magnificent, leading some to believe the tower may have been designed by Ottoman architect rockstar Mimar Sinan, who designed a tower that looks suspiciously similar in Albania. But now people are saying, no, the tower was built in the 1400s, and that sign was referring to a low octagonal wall that used to be here protecting the base of the tower. The Tower of Blood was so named because it became a notorious prison under the Ottomans. Also the site of multiple mass executions, most famously that of the Janissaries who revolted during the reign of Mahmud II. Today's Edward Day, by the way. Happy Edward Day. And to celebrate, should I get on a pirate boat? Sunset cruise on a pirate boat? This is what an $11 beer looks like. Here's Aristotle Square. You remember, main square of the city? That was actually nice. It was a half an hour back and forth, and it was free. You just had to buy a beer for $11. Gyros for dinner. You know what a gyro is, gyro. It's like a donor, but with pork. This is the best gyro I've ever had. Big ice cream. Big ice cream. I did it because it's Edward Day. And home sweet home. Back in my hood. Back in my hood. It's 8 p.m. Let's go out and find another sunset. I'm thinking, let's drive back up the hill to Old Town and Napoli. Approaching Triangle Tower, another Ottoman era fortification, sometime after the 1430s. It has a nickname, the Balcony of Thessaloniki. This is the highest point in the city. And if it were a little clearer, you'd See Mount Olympos. Greek mythology, home of the gods. The old walled upper town of Thessaloniki, Anapoli, wasn't destroyed in the Great Fire of 1917 that destroyed much of lower Thessaloniki. So you still have well-preserved Greek and Ottoman architecture up here. You know, back in Ottoman times, the Turks lived up here on the hill, and the Greeks and the Jews lived down below by the port. Back to tourist central, Halkidiki. It's the closest group of bars to my house. That's why I keep coming here. Another day spent indoors, another evening out. Now for some sardines and a fried Aegean seafood. You remember Nandor Glid's Holocaust monument? Come on, do what you were doing. You were climbing some stairs. I want to see you climb these stairs. Look at me getting out of the house at 11 to show you some more UNESCO. And have a Greek breakfast. Yeah, historically, by the time I get out of the house, all the bougatsa shops are closed. Bougatsa is the pastry the Greeks prefer for breakfast. Phyllo dough wrapped around a filling, savory or sweet. Yes. Bougatsa crema is the most popular bougatsa. It's got a filling of semolina custard, but it's all gone. I'm here too late, so I got feta filling instead. And it's very good. It's not what I wanted, but it's very good. So, let's take a look at some more UNESCO listed churches. The remains of Hamza Bey Mosque, commissioned 1467. The Church of Panagia Chalkion, built 1028 and currently being restored. It was converted to a mosque in after 1430 and remained a mosque until 1912. Passing by the 2nd century Roman Forum, public square, dug up by accident in the 1960s. They've since restored the amphitheater, which is in the corner there. And now to what is perhaps the most important church to Thessalonians, the Church of St. Demetrius, patron saint of the city. And this church has history going back to the 300s AD, when it replaced a Roman bathhouse. And it was in this bathhouse that St. Demetrius was held prisoner and ultimately executed. They also discovered a well there at the church, and the well is where scholars believe St. Demetrius' body was dumped after his execution. There were lots of fires, and this church was reconstructed 629 to 634 AD. And the form of that church is what survives today. Let's take a quick walk around the church before going inside. This church was converted into a mosque around 1490 and remained so until the liberation of the city in 1912. And then came the Great Fire of 1917, which destroyed much of the lower part of the city, including this church. And The church remained pretty much gutted until the 1940s, when, courtesy of the Nazis and the Greeks, the church was restored using the tombstones of the Jewish cemeteries. This is said to be the tomb of Saint Demetrius, and during this church's time as a mosque, this tomb remained accessible for Christians. The mosaics in this church date from the 600s and the 700s. This one over here on the top, the guy in the middle, that's Saint Demetrius, next to a bishop and some other guy. And here is Saint George with children, and more mosaics. And now for the crypt of the church. This is where Saint Demetrius was martyred, back when it was a Roman bathhouse. Now, it wasn't below ground back then either. Ground rises, of course, in time. Demetrius was imprisoned and put to death here in 303 AD. What do you say, another Byzantine church? Come on, if you think this is difficult for you, imagine another Ottoman bathhouse. Holy Church of the Prophet Elijah from the 1300s. And of course, in Ottoman times, a mosque, and then back to a church in 1912. Now, the church is closed, but there's a baptism going on inside, so I think we could take a peek. It's way too hot to not be in water, so I'm headed in the direction of home, but church hopping all the way. Of course, UNESCO church hopping. We're back in Anapoli, by the way, the old town, upper town. The next Byzantine church for you, UNESCO-listed Church of St. Catherine, dating to around 1315, and was converted into a mosque and then reconverted to a church. As always, to get to the next church, I've been walking along the western walls of old Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki was founded in 315 BC by Cassander of Macedon, who named the city after his wife, Thessaloniki, as you do. And his wife was the daughter of Philip II of Macedon, who was the father of Alexander the Great. So that is, Cassander's wife was the sister of Alexander the Great. Now, these walls, which are UNESCO listed, date from around 390 AD. The city was fortified from the start in the 4th century BC, but these are newer Byzantine, early Byzantine era walls. Holy Church of the Holy Apostles, 1300s, another UNESCO-listed Byzantine era church. It's closed, so saving some time on the way home to air conditioning. That said, I did want to show you this one. There are incredible mosaics inside, masterpieces of Byzantine art, on par with the mosaics found at the Quarter Monastery in Constantinople, which I've shown you in the past. I think we're looking at Holocaust graffiti on the train station wall. A perfect end to the day. Because as far as you're concerned, it's over. Boba tea. It's 8 p.m. Heading out to an early dinner with Yorgos.
It's a charge from cruise with squid inside.
No, I can use my palm.
My roommate was a moron.
You hear that, roommate? What is that?
This is octopus.
It's fish. It must be nice to just eat and not have to film everything. Life is easy. Are you breathing all over the cheesecake? It's Friday. Heading back to the beach for the weekend. Halkidiki, Sithonia Peninsula. But first, I gotta get another bathing suit. I lost one of mine on Sedef Island in Istanbul a few weeks ago. Done. Let's go to the beach.
It's getting dark, so maybe we'll not be as good colors as...
Yorgos is gonna show us the best view, the best.
The time is not right, but...
This is the best view right here. Seriously?
Yes.
You made me waste valuable
10 kilobytes.
space. Apologies for what just happened there. This will make the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Στην Πόντου. Ποιος είπε, τι εννοείς. Ένα σπίτι εδώ.
I've been coming to this beach since 1998. It's one of my favorite beaches in the world. Yorgos is the master at grilling dentex. Yorgos invented this. You invented this, right?
Yeah, of course.
He has a great brain.
Το οποίο ήταν με...
What's the weight of the big one?
This is 1.6, 1.1.
Wow.
But it's better than I get a 3 kilo.
Cooks better.
Not cooks better.
Tastes better.
Tastes better, yes.
Tastes better. You're the Dentex grill master?
This is Dentex, this is called Fagri, I don't know what's the English name.
Say it in Greek.
Fagri.
Fagri. Fagri is sea bream.
You don't have oil?
And
So now we're going to learn Yorgos' secrets. First, olive oil.
Rosalind, bring me a towel.
Dentex is a fairly expensive fish. Let's say that. Like 40 euros a kilogram. Restaurant, minimum 70 euros. This is my first Dentex. This is my first Dentex.
If it's fresh,
Yeah.
Because you can always have from the... How do you call it?
The freezer.
The freezer, where they grow fish, where they...
The fish farm.
Fish farm, yes. That's my experience, so...
Hold on, Yorgos has more things to say about himself.
No. You can see my experience.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no. My... The smoothness.
The smoothness.
I'll show you a good trick how to remove the fish from the...
Bones.
Not the bones, from the
The
grill.
grill. Okay, yes.
Without destroying the
No.
fish.
Trick me. Wow. Wow. Look at this. You invented this too, didn't you? You see that shit, Gatsby? You see that shit?
Bam!
Great job, Gatsby. What an actor.
He does many things, eh? This is the...
This is just
I
the
showed you a couple.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
Και από εδώ θέλει, από τα κόκαλα.
Did you just say Marietta's much better at this?
No.
Μια χαρά είναι. Πολύ ωραία.
Δεν μπορείς εσύ.
You like hot pepper and chili and
Ed,
this?
Ed, Κάτσε. Ποιος είναι?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Να σας βάλω κρασί. Έτσι,
Does it look good though? Does it look good?
του Ολυμπιακού ύμνου.
Now it's not really good in the ceiling, but...
Did you know that Greece invented the Olympics? You knew that?
Ολυμπιακός ύμνος.
But everyone had to be naked.
Του Σαμάρα.
1998, a dark and stormy day in July, some college mates and I took a small motorboat out to this island here, called Kelifos, which means turtle shell. Yorgos said we could have died, but Yorgos doesn't understand that Greece and its gods have become weak. Poseidon was no match for us. I drink an endless amount of Mamo's beers. You know how I can do that? Because I'm rich. You know how I got rich? I watched this guy's YouTube channel. Yorgos number 2's YouTube channel.
Yeah, please subscribe my channel.
Just subscribe.
And you will get the...
It'll make you rich.
Yeah, no.
How do you say river? How do you say river?
ποτάμι.
And this is three.
Yes.
Oh,
Τρυπόταμος.
3 rivers because holy shit, there's one. There's one of the rivers. And there's 2 more. There's 2. See? 2 fingers, 2 more. This is exciting. I'm not sure what Marietta knows, but she said during high tide the river meets the sea. But we can't know for sure. What a clown. All clean. Look at this rock. This is a perfect rock. Look at this. Our number has grown. It's 8:30. We haven't eaten yet. Fortunately, our neighbor's barbecuing.
Χαλάς τη φωτογραφία του Ed.
Μήπως έχει μπαβέτα.
Κόψε και την άλλη.
Today, let's do the Olympics on the side of the house. 51 seconds, Jesus. Kalimera. Look at the sea. It's like a lake. This is how I always remember it. Yesterday was a little angry, a little windy. Where to today, Marietta?
We're going to the second lake today, the Ed.
Second river.
Yes.
English isn't her first language.
Just close it.
Cut. Where are you taking us today, Marietta?
I am taking you to the second river Ed.
5 takes to get that right. Just little behind the scenes information. Gatsby knows the way and ta-da! I don't get these rivers. That's 2 dead-end rivers so far. Heading back to Thessaloniki today. Video's almost over. It's time for breakfast. Do you remember my favorite beer? So what are you calling this?
This is Vergina beer.
That's not what she's been saying the entire weekend. It's never mind. So I've been coming to this beach for some 26 years, and naturally the word has gotten out that I'm undefeated in backgammon. So the villagers are presenting me with their strongest player, Sophia. that I'm a guest and maybe it's impolite. It's impolite to beat a guest, no? Because I'm not nervous about beating a 14-year-old girl. It's already started off a little Greek. You know, the Greeks have their own quirky kind of way of playing. I'm not making an excuse, I'm just spitting facts. Portas means doors, right? It means doors in Greek. There's 3 ways to play backgammon, 3 games of backgammon in Greece. You don't know about them because you're not Greek. 1, 0. The technique Sophia is using is called monkey rolling. It means that if Sophia was even a monkey, with the dice she's rolling, she would win. It's called monkey rolling. 0. Sophia is cheating.
What?
Like, literally moved my pieces around, and you know what? I let her because...
No, you're losing and you're lying. So it looks like I'm cheating and winning, but I'm not cheating. You're just losing and you're sad.
You know me by now. Man, you know me. Say, what was she doing?
Cheating.
I know she was cheating. You were cheating.
Wasn't cheating.
But look, 4-0, but she was cheating, and now we're gonna have an honest game, maybe for the first time in her life.
No, I wasn't cheating. You just said because you lost and you're trying to blame it on other things.
So, first game where she's not cheating. I have 1, and she has 0.
4. Είναι πάρα πολύ άτυχη.
Say zero. How do you say 0 in Greek? Teach me some Greek. How do you say 0?
4.
2. You know, it's interesting. I played with the Turkish school of thought, and Sophia is playing with the Greek school of thought. So this is bigger than it appears. Still 0. 4. And that's how you defeat the strongest player, a 14-year-old girl, a backgammon prodigy, they told me.
It's 1-1.
He's the ref. I mean, he saw everything. Rosalie is from the Philippines, and this is a Philippine specialty. Halo halo, halo halo, and you made this with your own hands. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rosalie. The proof we're in Greece. Backyard filled with olive trees.
When they need to have
A big party, big souvlaki
big
party.
table, a lot of tables they have.
We left Sithonia. We're still in Halkidiki, but we're in a restaurant for the best souvlaki in Halkidiki. The best souvlaki in Halkidiki. Now, this is brought to you by the same guy that gave us the best view on the way to Sithonia.
And the best fish.
And the best fish, though. Best fish. Do your thing.
Μπράβο, έχει τρελή κίνηση εμείς τώρα που φύγαμε, όχι απλά.
Cheers. My 8th souvlaki. Or 7th according to Yorgos. He counts differently.
And 6 according to your camera. Πού μένουνε?
Are these the words? You're still playing the game?
Για το LA, εσύ το LA θα πας μαζί τους.
θα πάω μόνος.
Back in Thessaloniki. And goodbye, Thessaloniki. Heading now to Corfu via Ioannina. Maybe see you there, maybe not. Who can say? Life's a mystery.